This is a demonstration of an interactive mapping feature provided by Eastern Brook Trout Joint Venture. You'll see here on the left how we have layers. I'm going to turn on some layers so you can see what's going on here. So you see here I'm going to click on US states and I can turn off or turn on those layers. Okay, I'm looking to determine if there's a particular trout stream in Connecticut that's of particular interest to me, how it looks on this map. So I happen to have a location. I'm going to change the scale, so we're going to zoom into it, and there we are. And there is Baldwin Hill Road in Ledyard, Connecticut. You notice we don't see anything really of interest here, so I'm going to turn on streams. So there's your stream, and I'm going to turn on dams and crossings, and we'll see those in a little bit as we come along here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we have a little bit more of a view of what's going on here, and you can see that this is a sort of an interesting looking stream that leads into the so-called Thames River in Connecticut. You can move around and see a bit more about what's going on by zooming out, and you see the naval base there in New London, and you can turn that layer off and zoom out some more, and you can see there's the mouth of the Thames River and a lot of other streams. So I can zoom right back to where I was by clicking on this zoom to specified address or coordinates map location. So there we are, zoomed way in, and again I'm going to click on that and zoom out a bit just so you get this coordinate. So most interesting to me is, are there wild trout in that particular area? So I can turn on this layer, and yes, it looks like the orange is telling me that there are wild trout there, and I'm going to turn down the opacity of that layer so that it's a little easier to look at. So there we have, it looks like that the wild trout layer starts at about the beginning of that at the end of where Long Cove there is, and I wanted to turn on another layer, and let's turn off terrain and let's turn on hybrid imagery, and this is the Google Earth version, so that you can actually zoom in quite close to see what's going on. Whoops. And we're going to see here, you know, some names of the streets, some perhaps some landmarks. I'm not seeing any particular things like beaches or places that you could fish that are public, but that may be true. I'm not so sure. I can't tell from this view, but you can see here where the river goes. I think that's a railroad bed that goes under Military Highway here, and I do want to show you this one other thing that shows these yellow dots are crossings, and that red dot is a dam, and I can show you, you know, by turning that on and off what that is. So see how I turn off and on dams? That's a dam, and then I use the property inspector here to identify this feature, and if I point at that particular dam, boom, there it is. It's called Flat Brook Dam. Those are the locations of, and such as to identify where in fact it is relative to this data set. And closing, so this is provided by the Eastern Brook Trout Joint Venture. It's a really wonderful tool. It's a combination of things. I believe it's primarily done by Jason Coombs at UMass Amherst, and they do a really nice job. And my name is Jeffrey Day, and I'm with the Sea Run Brook Trout Coalition, and I'll be signing off.